All right, guys, good morning. It's October 14th, 2025, which means that it's Tuesday, which means week 6 of the NFL season is in the book, and we are looking in the rearview mirror at the first third of the 2025 NFL year, wrapping up with a nice little bow on it. And what an interesting turn of events, you guys. Last night we had a couple of little Monday night doubleheader action. The Buffalo Bills trying to bounce back after a surprising upset last week to the Drake May-led New England Patriots. And, well, as we say all the time, third verse, same as the first. Bills lost again. It's 2 in a row now, this time falling to the confusing Atlanta Falcons. I don't know if I can say dangerous. I don't know if I can say bad. But I don't know what to think about Atlanta. What do you guys think about Atlanta? What happened down in hot Atlanta where the Bills only managed to put up 14 points? I didn't watch this game. I was at work, and I had no interest in watching the other game, the Bears and Commanders, which apparently ended in dramatic fashion, 25-24. So the Bears clawing their way back to 3-2, trying to make a little bit of ruckus in the NFC North, especially trying to pounce and strike while the iron's hot after the Lions. Well, we all know what happened Sunday night over in Kansas City, but we'll take a little bit closer of a look at the Bears commies on Monday night. What we learned from Chicago's 25-24 win over Washington is coming to us from Nick Shook at NFL.com. Then we're going to get a little bit more of a Falcons take on things. I mean, why not? Why not hang out with the winning team? I don't know what really happened. So we're just going to take a very biased look at it. Atlanta Falcons on SI. Falcons defense puts NFL on notice with prime time domination. Arkish Ray says the Atlanta Falcons stunned the Bills a strong defensive showing, giving the reigning MVP fits. So we'll see kind of what their take is on it. And then briefly, we're not going to read the whole article. It should be no surprise to anybody, especially at this point. Yes, it does seem early after week 6, but the proof is in the pudding, and there is no yellow brick road down in Nashville. Tennessee Titans fire Brian Callahan, give interim McCoy every opportunity. That's right, the Tennessee Titans fired Brian Callahan on Monday, just 6 games into his second season as their head coach, which sucks. He finishes 4-19, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The NFL is a business. Speaking of the NFL, we're going to go ahead and talk about the news that everybody's really kind of still kind of stirring about. There's a lot of content made about it. I myself, my video did pretty well yesterday. Yesterday's stream was very successful. We got a lot of new people here because of that video, and I genuinely appreciate those of you who understand where I'm coming from and can do a little thought exercise and look beyond the surface level. That being said, the people down in my comments, well, to quote the great Eric July, Young Rippa, I'm just going to go ahead and monetize the hate. So please comment your hateful comments down below. All it does is drive me up in the algorithm by showing engagement. So keep on keeping on. I'm just going to keep monetizing it, you dill holes. And then finally, you guys, let's take another trip to the Bay of Schadenfreude twice in a couple of weeks here. Last week, we went and visited our old friend, CJ after he was unceremoniously released from the Houston Texans because he's a beta jet and a cancer in the locker room. Former Lions pass rusher suddenly retires midseason. Who could it be now? We'll talk about that. We'll look at that just for a little bit of a little splash in the pond of Schadenfreude. Maybe we won't go into the full bay. But the pond of Schadenfreude will be nice. And then, of course, you guys know Tuesdays are for Tom. Every NFL fan's reaction to Week 6 coming to us from Tom Grossi at the end of the show. Guys, if you want to do me a rock-solid favor, would you kindly take a look up at the chat? There is a poll. No JuJu punishment. Need any more evidence? 7 votes so far. 86% of you say it's clear now. And 14% of you say no, Mahomes is the chosen one. How we doing, Mad Hatter Nation? Brandy Coffee, Sam Armstrong, Mr. Detroit City. My mom's here. Jeff Ginnard, Free BB. Guys, welcome. Good morning. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome jump to your Tuesday morning. That's right. We are almost to midweek, and then midweek it's all downhill with a couple of slaloms around till the weekend, and we are champing at the bit. We'll discuss kind of everything heading in about the Brian Branch stuff. We do have a couple more days, though, to discuss this and kind of masticate the information that was handed down from the NFL. You guys did see the thumbnail. The king has spoken, and the king does not allow meritocracy and masculinity in his kingdom. No, not at all. We cannot have that at all. So, guys, go ahead and do me a favor. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Ring that notification bell so you can be notified every single time we go live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here at YouTube.com. We are the largest, fastest-growing Detroit Lions NFL content creation station, broadcasting exclusively from Grandma's Studio One. It is the Hat and Beard Show. Go ahead and like this video and share it around with everybody you know. Even if you don't know anybody, it costs you absolutely nothing. Go ahead and just copy this link down on your clipboard. It gets it out there and just tells YouTube, hey, this guy isn't, as one commenter yesterday put, he isn't the dumbest channel on YouTube. That's right, guys. So that's wicked awesome if I, in fact, am. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
Mr. Detroit City. I know, man. I'm not, honestly, I don't really pay attention to him. I've been watching Young Rippa long enough, dude, and I, maybe not a graduate of, but I am a student of the monetize the haters, bro. Look, if they want to, they can go right ahead, dude. I will take their money. It's, at the end of the day, boys and girls, I am a capitalist, and, I like the color green, so if they want, they can go right ahead, dude. I'm plus, guys. Look, the reality is, I got 8 subs off of yesterday's video. That's the second largest growth in 24 hours off of one video I've ever had on this channel. Okay, the last one being last year. Before I was doing live shows, I was still doing kind of scripted videos. I got like 18 or 20 subscribers off my Nick Wright video, which went semi-viral. And then I was still dabbling in the shorts game as well. Had a couple of videos pop off there. But yesterday has been the most successful single-day growth we've had doing the live stream, doing the live show. It's because of guys like you. It's because I feel comfortable enough talking to Mad Hatter Nation. I know that you guys aren't a bunch of fucking mouth-breathing idiots. I can talk about things that are beyond the surface level. We can have thought exercises with one another, and we're not just, it's easy. It's easy when it comes to talking to you guys because you're not a bunch of mouth-breathing window lickers. You know what I'm saying? By God, dare I say I have one of the smarter audiences in all of YouTube. It's very easy to talk to you guys. That or I am the dumbest channel on YouTube, and we've all just secretly been on a short bus with helmets on. So, guys, what did we learn from the Bears Commanders on Monday night? What we learned from Chicago's 25-24 win over the Washington Commies. Admittedly, it's one of the few occasions that I am openly would have been rooting for the Commies. Brandy Coffee, actually, Nick, wrote that you caught me off guard with that comment. Nick Wrong, you mean that was literally the title of my video. Was Nick right? You mean Nick Wrong? And I put like a clown nose on him or something goofy like that. That's crazy that you say that. That's crazy that you say that. Because people over from Football Nation, Mario, it's great work. Hell yeah, Mr. Trade City. I appreciate it, you guys. I do appreciate all you guys doing the work here. So, number one thing we learned, Bears battle back for another thrilling win. Chicago's making a habit of these finishes lately. The Bears' last game ended on a blocked field goal that sealed a comeback victory powered by a courageous Giggle Williams-led drive in Las Vegas. Ooh, that's right, because the Las Vegas Raiders are such a terrifying, scary team. In similar fashion, on Monday night in a rainy Landover, Maryland, Williams and the Bears won the fourth quarter by capitalizing on an opponent's mistake and cashing in with a measured, productive drive to set up a Jake Moody game-winning field goal. Over 4 quarters, it wasn't exactly pretty, but every win doesn't need to be for a team attempting to turn a corner. We've learned one truth over the last 2 games of these Bears. It's this. They're tough, and they won't go down without a fight. 60-minute fight. I will direct your attention to week 2 of the NFL season, where Chicago had to come to Detroit. And if that's the fight they're willing to put up for 60 minutes, maybe the caliber of opponents you've been playing outside of the Lions haven't been so good. Number 2, Daniels is definitely back. The 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year wasn't perfect. Jaden Daniels' interception came on a needle-threading attempt that was never going to work, and he mishandled a wet football right into a crucial fumble late in the game. I have a 6th grade reading level. Maybe I am the dumbest channel on YouTube. But there was plenty to be excited about from Daniels, who finally looked healthy and like himself again, showing off his fantastic agility and mobility while dropping a dime on Chris Moore for a first-half touchdown, hitting a wide-open Luke McCaffrey for a score, and patiently surveying before firing a bullet over the middle to Zach Ertz for 6 points. How old is Zach Ertz? I feel like Zach Ertz has been playing since they wore leather helmets. Unlike previous weeks, Daniels was playing with his full arsenal, powering the offense with his arm, 19 of 26 for 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and his legs, 10 carries for 52 yards. It's a shame his late error led the Bears to a walk-off win, but over the long haul, Monday night provided Commies fans with the evidence they needed to rest easy going forward, trying to take a victory in the loss. So he had to silver lining that. Number three, Sama Ben Johnson, small PP Benedict Arnold, bend over Ben Johnson, the trader in the Windy City's imprint is starting to show. As most recently seen from Lions, any team's turnaround doesn't happen overnight. It starts with building blocks in the form of persistence, cohesion, and eventually strategic improvement. If one is searching for clues of small PP Ben Johnson's impact on the team, look no further than Monday night's game, in which the Bears demonstrated significantly improved blocking in the running and passing game, and scan down to DeAndre Swift's stat line for a concrete proof. 14 carries, 108 yards, and 55-yard touchdown reception is key to Chicago's fourth quarter comeback. Now, I will say, look, DeAndre Swift did that in Philly, and he also did those kind of numbers sporadically in Detroit. The problem with DeAndre Swift is his durability and his reliability. I had said I liked the athleticism and what DeAndre Swift was able to do on the field. The problem is keeping him on the field because he's a little bit of a pussy. Just saying. Without the score, the Bears might not have had enough time on the clock to earn one more possession. Bears teams of past years would have lacked the hope and faith that they could even work their way into a position potentially to win the game. Small PP's effect has inspired his team, and the motivated bunch blocked better than ever for Swift, giving him room to break 100 yards and power them to a team victory that wasn't always pretty, but sure was invigorating. Let's glaze them a little bit harder, boys. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you still had any room left in your mouth after the glazing you did Sunday night and then the backup glazing you did all Monday. But boy, howdy, they figured out a way to fit a little bit more room in that bad boy and just pack it up, pack it in. Get Ben Johnson in there. Number 4, and finally, Commanders fans should remain optimistic. Yes, stay positive. Stay positive. This Monday night loss will undoubtedly sting, but considering how Washington even arrived to a place where a win was possible, Daniels finally regained the form that powered him to the AP NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year last season and threw 3 touchdown passes while playing without scary Terry McLaurin, and on a quiet night for an injured Deebo Samuel. Oh, wow. Imagine that. Injured Deebo Samuel. Crazy. Have you ever heard that word before? Those series of words together? Deebo Samuel injured, or an injured Deebo Samuel. Never heard that before. Zach Ertz can still do it. Luke McCaffrey refuses to go away, and Chris Moore made a spectacular touchdown grab. The defense got bullied up front, and admittedly surprisingly and mildly concerning sign, but managed to weather 2 offensive giveaways and give the offense a chance to climb back into the game. And despite the final result, The Commies fought through a rainy night and gave themselves a chance to win. I'm not a believer in moral victories, but silver linings undoubtedly exist. The shiniest of all was wearing number 5. Now, this is a very contradictory statement. I am not a believer in moral victories. But 2 of your 4 things here are positives for the losing team. So, not to be a stickler here, Nick Shook, around the NFL writer for NFL.com, who's probably making a lot more money than I do between YouTube and my job. What is it? Do you believe in silver linings or do you not? Because 50% of your article is a fucking silver lining, dude! Jesus, jumping up and down, man. These fucking people. All right, guys, the other game that we had going on was the Falcons and the Buffalo Bills. Now, apparently this is just the week of me standing in my driveway in my yard at my mailbox with egg on my face because let's not forget that a few weeks back, mid-season or mid-preseason, hell, even probably just in training camp, look, and it still could happen. A couple of losses isn't going to deter anything, and we're just a third of the way through the NFL season. But we are a third of the way through the NFL season, and your reigning NFL MVP, as well as a very potent and what should be dangerous Buffalo Bills team, seems to be slipping 2 weeks in a row now. It doesn't bode well for my Super Bowl prediction of Lions-Bills Super Bowl and the Lions beating the Bills 59-0. But it's still a better possibility than not. All right, guys, so what happened last night? Throughout the first month of football, the Atlanta Falcons had the number 1 defense in the NFL in terms of passing yards allowed per game. They headed into Week 6 with a daunting task ahead of them, stopping the reigning MVP Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills offense. The Falcons' defense looked forward to the challenge of shutting down the Bills' offense, and they exceeded expectations, holding them to a season low. A very Cleveland Browns-like 14 points. In fact, the Bills have not been held to 14 or fewer points with Josh Allen as their starter since Week 4 of the 2024 season, when they scored just 10 points against, the Baltimore Ravens. Allen was held to 182 passing yards. The defense was also forced 2 interceptions, and was Allen's first game of the season with more than 1 INT. Most impressively, Atlanta's defense registered 4 sacks of Josh Allen. That's a very impressive guy to bring down 4 times. The Falcons are the only team to get to Allen on the ground 4 times in the last 2 seasons. A testament to how the investments into the Falcons' pass rush this offseason is paying off. Star running back Bijan Robinson had joked about the defense after their impressive performance. At least I know I wasn't tripping in the summer because I couldn't get anything off, Robinson joked Monday night. He went on to add that he thought Josh Allen was the best player in the NFL, and the defense made him uncomfortable all night. Shout out to the defense. The defense saved its best effort for the fourth quarter, forcing back-to-back 3-and-outs against Josh Allen and the Bills before sealing the game with an interception on the final drive. Very, very storybook ending. After the victory, the Falcons remained the first in the NFL in total defense. The Falcons' defense looked forward to the challenge of making a statement under the bright lights of Monday Night Football against the reigning MVP, and they did exactly that. After a month of dominance, the Falcons proved their early season defensive performances were no flukes, but instead maybe more of a brand new of football in Atlanta. It's got a lot to do with Raheem Morris. I mean, he was a defense coordinator. He was a defensive player in the league. And yes, for last year was not so great, not so smooth. But these things take time. To quote a struggling first-year head coach, some guy out in New York, big ship turns slow. It's going to take a little bit of time, but Atlanta seemingly having good young pieces on offense with quarterback, running back. Their offensive line could probably use a little retooling. They got weapons, though, in the receiving game with Kyle Pitts and Drake London and even Darnell Mooney. Right? Darnell Mooney is a very dangerous player when given the opportunity. Michael Penix showing that he can be the franchise quarterback, and you can do all of this and have a really good defense. that poses to be a dangerous combination for the NFL for several years, because as we've talked about many times, I am not the only person that ever talked about this, but the rookie scale contract at quarterback allows you the financial flexibility to go out and purchase the pieces that you need to get over the hump. And that's exactly what the Atlanta Falcons have seemed to do, though it took a little bit longer than I think some people may have wanted. We are starting to see an emergence of the Atlanta Falcons, an identity come out, right? The defense is going to be the identity this year. And, historically, defense wins championships, guys. So real quick, and finally, we do just want to shout out the Titans firing Brian Callahan. They're going to give some other guy, an interim chance at it, something like it's a Mike McCoy or something like that. Callahan finished with a 4-19 record, including a 1-5 start this season with Cam Ward, the first pick in the 2025 draft as the Titans starting quarterback. We just felt like this was the right time to make a change, Titans president of football operations Chad Brinker said at the news conference Monday night. We're looking for growth in the football team, and that's not what this is about right now. We're not seeing enough growth from this football team. That's exactly, yes, I would be inclined to agree. The Titans did not grow at all over this last offseason, although they did have the number 1 overall pick, and Cam Ward does seem to be a relatively exciting player. Okay, I do think there could be a future there with him. There are no parts or pieces around for him to play with, so he's fighting an uphill battle with one hand tied behind his back. So moving on from Callahan, probably the right decision. This McCoy guy, if he does a solid job, who knows? But, this now starts the conversation of the head coach carousel. Who can we start plugging into that spot? What's the next big hot name in coaching that could be moving over to the head coach spot? And who would want to be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans? Are they in some type of salary cap hell? There's not a lot of ingredients in the cupboard to work with right now. You do have some parts and some pieces, but not a complete team and not the full recipe. So you got a big rebuild there in Tennessee. So not the most ideal job to be had. Don't worry, guys. We are now heading into the local segment of our stories. We're going to go ahead and take a look up at the chat. How you doing, Mad Hatter Nation? Washington is overrated. They were last year, too. Nobody cares about the Bears barely winning. Exactly, Mr. Trade City. I completely agree with you. I do think Washington is overrated, though I do think Jaden Daniels has a bright future in the NFL, and they do have some guys that can ball. I think Scary Terry is a really good wide receiver. Zach Ertz still can kind of do it at 172 years old. There are some guys on defense that can play, but Washington, a little overhyped. And ultimately, nobody cares about the Bears, dude. Nobody cares about the Bears. Good morning, everyone. F the toilet seats. Brent DeWitt, good morning, brother. How you doing? Good to see you, dude. Little sister weights more than Jaden Daniels. He's a little boy. No shit. Damn, dude. He is kind of scrawny, though. Admittedly, Jaden Daniels is kind of a scrawny guy. But that's I think we're kind of seeing that now. Giga Williams is a little bit of a bigger-bodied quarterback, but do we really see big-body quarterbacks anymore? Cam Ward, not really that big. Shedeur Sanders is scrawny. Drake May's a skinny little guy, Jackson Dart, I don't think is really that physically and dominating. I think we're kind of seeing a shying away from the Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, 6'4", 6'5" quarterbacks. Mostly because I think once you get into the larger frame quarterbacks outside of like an Anthony Richardson, who is clearly fizzling out of the NFL, the mobility tends to drop off a lot. And in today's NFL and collegiate games, we're asking the quarterbacks to do a lot. I also have a theory. You are starting to see a massive uptick, in my opinion, in young athletic tight ends. Now, I'm not going to go against what I always say, and the tight ends are not worth a first-round pick. They're tight ends I don't think are worth a first-round pick. But we're seeing a massive uptick in the athleticism and overall production of tight ends over the past couple of years. So I think you're starting to see a lot of these guys that could have been a bigger physical quarterback maybe taking their size and mismatchability, the quarterback brain, and applying it to a tight end position where you're starting to see the real emergence of athlete playing at the tight end spot. Not just a singular thing that they do well, but an overall well-polished athlete. I think Sam Laporta really exemplifies that. Brock Bowers really exemplifies that. Fluoride and soy, these generations aren't the same. You know what I'm saying, dude? Beaver Nugs. Dart's been looking good for the Giants. Beaver Nugs, I do agree with you. I actually am a big Jackson Dart fan. I think his game is a lot of fun to watch. He's also was a supporter of Charlie Kirk. But that being said, he's not, he's not big. He's not big. He's not big. I want a big family. No, like big children. Big. You know what I'm saying? They're like, he's not like imposing, But I do think Jackson Dart is the future for the New York Giants. I think he's a very capable quarterback. I can see something different in Gibbs. Do you think he's comfortable in this offense? Sam, I don't know if he's comfortable or uncomfortable, but I do think that John Morton is putting... I think John Morton has a little bit of a love affair with Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's putting a little bit more on Jahmyr Gibbs than what I would like to see. I'd like to see a little bit more work out of David Montgomery, simply because I think David Montgomery is a little bit more of a workhorse back. By peppering in more David Montgomery, you're going to keep the fatigue and freshness of Jahmyr Gibbs longer into the season. I also think that Jahmyr Gibbs, especially in the Kansas City game, just like we've seen with Brian Branch, which we'll talk about, I do think that he was very frustrated. I think everybody was very frustrated, and personally, I do think that they are justified in their frustrations. Let's see yesterday's video for examples and reasonings why, but Brian Branch did nothing wrong. What's we got going on here? Kerry, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Haven't seen you at all along with the refs in the NFL control games. Yes, dude, have been seeing it the whole time, brother. It's a blatant thing. That's why the refs ran off the field so damn fast. Good morning, though, dude. Good to see you, Kerry. Good to see you. Give the ball to both running backs. Huh? My mom says it. You better listen to my mom. Excuse me, fellas. All right, boys and girls. I'm going to head into NFL suspends Lions safety Brian Branch. 1 game for roll in postseason fight on Sunday. Now, I did skim 2 articles. Does anybody know, is JuJu getting in any trouble? Is JuJu getting in any trouble at all? Because he is a major component to the entire thing. Also, see yesterday's video. You are not clean of this, JuJu. Not only did you instigate, but then you did go after. It is not Brian Branch's fault that you retaliated against him, got your helmet ripped off, got thrown to the ground, and got your fucking face beat in. It ain't his fault. You, JuJu, you went after him. Okay, yes. He did give you maybe a little bit of an open-handed cheap slap, but an open-handed slap, you know what I'm saying, is way different than a punch. You were running your damn mouth, and he slapped you. You then fell to the ground like a baby back bitch, then hopped up because you're like, oh my God, I look like a punk bitch on national television. I have to redeem myself, and ran after Brian Branch. Brian Branch was then being held back by your own players, okay? You've got like 3 or 4 inches on Brian Branch, okay? So not only do you have the reach, but he's being held by another one of your players being held back, and he still managed to get your stupid, scrawny ass down on the ground with your helmet off and your nose bloodied. That wouldn't have happened if you'd have just laid on the ground like the baby back bitch you are, maybe done your best Mahomes, soccer style, rolling about on the ground, crying nonsense. Then you probably would have had a few more victim points. But the minute you got up and went after Brian Branch, who was being held by your other player, being held back by your own team, he still managed to get you down on the ground and bloody your nose with your helmet off. Why? Why no punishment for JuJu? Why no punishment for JuJu? Oh, Mr. Detroit City. I love it. JuJu's a troubled kid. He's got enough issues to figure out in life. All right. I see where you're coming from. And I want to laugh because it's kind of funny. But ultimately, he needs to be fined and punished as well because he is just as complicit. It takes 2 to tango, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? The Lions suspended safety Brian Branch 1 game on Monday night for his role in the post-game fight following Detroit's 30-17 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, the league announced. Whoa, that was gross. Had a little bit of a coffee shootout on that one. That was gross. Your aggressive non-football act was entirely unwarranted, posed a serious risk of injury, and clearly violated the standards of conduct and sportsmanship expected of the NFL players. Expected of NFL players, NFL VP of Operations John Runyon said in a letter to Branch, per the league statement, your conduct reflected poorly on the NFL and has no place in our game. Branch is appealing his one-game ban, the NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported. Branch sparked a skirmish. We know this. We're not going to go over that. Lions head coach Dan Campbell publicly admonish Brian Branch for his behavior when speaking to reporters following the game. Let me start with this. We've read that. I love Brian Branch. Branch later apologized. I did a real childish thing. I'm tired of people doing stuff out between plays and the refs don't catch it. Real quick, hang on. Let's just finish the article. Branch has a past history of controversial plays. He entered week 6 with 3 fines for a combined $34,000 already this season. 1 unsportsmanlike conduct infraction and 2 unnecessary roughness violations. Branch was fined 7 times by the NFL during the 24 season. Jeez Louise, dude. He's shit out a ton of money. So, have you guys seen the Brian Branch interview? You could tell it's body language, guys. It's body language. All right, watch this. Watch Brian Branch. You can tell how frustrated he is.
But I'm tired of people doing stuff in between the play and refs don't catch it. Like, they be trying to bully me out there, and I don't think I should have never did it, but it was childish. I did a little childish thing, but I'm tired of people doing stuff in between the play and refs don't catch it. Like,
see?
They be trying to bully me out there, and I don't think.
Okay. The bully me out there thing is kind of petty and kind of bitchy. But you can see that he's very frustrated over several years of this happening. And he's like, they be doing stuff, and the refs don't catch it, and I'm tired of it. Like, look at his eyes and his forehead. My man is... Watch his eyes and forehead. One more time here. My man is pissed.
I did a little childish thing, but I'm tired of...
Right here. See his eyebrows?
People doing stuff in between the play.
See his eyebrows? See how frustrated he is? Do you see the furrowing of the brow, the bulging of the veins right here? He's pissed. He's fucking pissed. And I think he's pissed justifiably. He's pissed for the same reason we're all pissed. He lives it. We see it. It's not sour fucking grapes, dude. Oh.
Refs don't catch it. Like, they be trying to bully me out there, and I don't think I should have never did it, but it was childish.
I seen that yesterday. You can see the frustration in his face, dude. JuJu has been fired from every job he ever had. Organizations don't keep him around because he is troubled. I pray for him seriously. At least he has football right now. It's scary when these troubled youth don't have ball to focus on. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Mr. Detroit City. That's true. But he should still be fined at least and probably suspended from the for just like Brian Branch. He was just as complicit. He's just as complicit. He instigated and he retaliated. I love volatile as well. I do too. JuJu should be thankful BB didn't go Mark Sanchez. That's funny, Mr. Detroit City. That's funny. That's funny because Mark Sanchez fucking ruined his life. That's funny because Mark Sanchez ruined his life. All right, guys. Finally, boy, we are really flying through it today, aren't we? We might run a little bit short. That's totally fine. That's fine today. So, what was our talking point all season long? Hang on real quick here. Jody, sister, I'm sorry if I fuck up your name here. Jody Carithers, hope I'm saying that right. Brian Branch is normally very soft-spoken with a sweet personality. Seems like it takes a lot to get him angry, like taunting him all game long. I absolutely agree with you, Jody. Welcome to the chat, and that's welcome to Mad Hatter Nation, sister, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. Brian Branch is a very soft-spoken. Yes, he is emotional on the field. All of them are. They are playing at fucking 10 all the time. Emotions are going to be high. But every interview you see of Brian Branch, soft-spoken, quiet, humble. Who is the one guy who came back to the draft selection process on day 2 just to walk out? Brian Branch. Brian Branch is a good dude. JuJu's a piece of shit. Patrick Mahomes is a piece of shit too. He knew what he was doing. He'd been taunting him all damn game long. Patrick Mahomes is pissed that Brian Branch got into the Hall of Fame before Patrick Mahomes did. What do I mean? What are you talking about, Hat? What the fuck are you talking about? Well, Brian Branch's interception is pick 6 on Patrick Mahomes, week 1, 2023. Well, that jersey, that ball, and that picture, well, that's in Canton. Patrick Mahomes has to wait 6 years until after he retires to finally get enshrined. Though, I wouldn't be surprised, if the NFL makes an exception for Patrick Mahomes and allows him to be in the Hall of Fame now and gives him like a special gold helmet to wear on the field, something to really distinguish him so that the refs can continue to just lock in and just watch him all game long and just go, oh, he's so great. He's so great. It's I think what you've seen from Brian Branch, the first time I watched that clip yesterday, I felt that brow furrow. You could feel him wanting to say so much more. But he bit his tongue, and he didn't say what he wanted to say, what he should have said. And that is, the NFL has a love affair with the Kansas City Chiefs, and they clearly have it out for me because I play the game the way a grown man should. That's what he wanted to say, but he didn't. But now at least we can all have conversations nationally. Now at least it feels, now maybe my algorithm is feeding me, which probably is, feeding me things that I want to see. But I do get the general consensus from overarching NFL content creators, guys who are no team specific. They just make content for the NFL, right? Like they just talk NFL. I feel like the tides have turned against the Chiefs. I feel like Sunday night, the actions of Brian Branch, the conversations that have followed, have really shined a light on exactly the corruption and dirtiness that's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs. You're no longer liked, Kansas City. You're no longer liked. People don't like you. The only people that like you are Swifties and Kansas City Chief diehard fans who will look past all of your corruption. They're basically diehard Democrats. You know, they just blindly root for the Chiefs. They just do exactly what they say. It doesn't matter how dirty and corrupt they are. It doesn't matter how disgusting their head coach is. It doesn't matter all the dirty money that's going into them to make them a thing because the Bills are faltering. The Ravens are faltering. The Chargers have slipped up. The Bengals are supposed to be the team this year. They're not. So the NFL had to have someone from the AFC be it. 0 penalties? That's only happened once since penalties became a thing. Judas Priest. Jennifer Steen says Mahomes said he leaves it between the whistles. Well, this fight happened 32 seconds left in the game, and where were the officials? Jennifer Steen, preaching the truth, sister. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's on Blue Dude. I sleep better at night knowing our safety is a tough, gritty hothead. He's our strong safety, not our PR guy. Blue Dude. Yeah, dude, I like that take right there. I like that take a lot. Oh, how the turntables have turned. Exactly. And that's just exactly it, Mr. Detroit City. The court of public opinion has turned. Patrick Mahomes is no longer the hero, the golden boy. He's a villain. So you can be a heel. That's fine. But you're going to have to be a heel. Don't pretend that you're still a hero. Embrace that you're being a heel. Come to the realization nobody likes you. The only reason you win, and you have ever won in your entire life, is because you've been a pampered Nepo baby who had been selected at an early age was going to be the golden boy. If it were left up to you and your team to simply win on their own merits, you would be a 2-4 program right now. You would not be anywhere that you are. You would not be selling seats. The fandom should be turning on you from the terrible product that is put out on the field, the historically bad signings and draft selection of criminal players by Andy Reid, the covering up of his son's murder, not his son being murdered, but the murder that his son committed. Okay, Andy Reid is a dirtbag. He's clearly on Ozempic, which shows you exactly where his mentality is. Look at the coaches. Look at the build. Look at the mentality, the psyche of both the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Dan Campbell doing push-ups with his guys. Dan Campbell, we're going to go out there and we're going to punch you in the mouth. We're going to beat you on merit. We're going to stand 10 toes up on the ground, and we're going to go out swinging. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Andy Reid takes the easy way, takes the cheeseburger money, takes the fat way out because he's lazy, he's worthless, he's a grimy, greasy piece of shit. He always has been, and he always will be. And Patrick Mahomes, fuck it. He's a piece of shit too. There, boom, I said it. Yeah, the Swifties took America's team's place. Yep, dude, they did. The Swiftie, and it's kind of the whole thing, dude. The Swifties, I'm not saying that it all started there, but that was a huge moment in the NFL where the branding of the NFL refused to listen to their longtime customer base. And now they have to deal with the fallout of it. And unfortunately, the only way for anything really to happen is the market has to respond in an aggressive manner. Now, the market is clearly not listening to the purchasing power of the layman, right? Because the NFL has maliciously and deliberately priced you and me out of the ability to buy into the game and use our dollars. In a free market capitalist society, your dollars are the last possible voting you have. Speak with your money. Do not let things succeed. Give your money to programs, products that you enjoy and stand behind. You know what I'm saying? Don't purchase shitbox things. But the NFL, they're the only show in town. They're the only product in town. So what'll ultimately have to happen is just like we've seen in the culture war with everything else. A parallel economy will have to emerge. There will have to become some other league. And unfortunately, we've seen that historically the NFL will not allow that to happen. The NFL has a monopoly on major sports football. They will not allow another product to exist. They will simply buy out that other product. Any product that could shy away from or take any type of name recognition away from the NFL. It's the reason why the NFL won't get behind the XFL or the UFL. Sorry. Yeah, the UFL. Because they don't want to tarnish the name. They don't want any type of, the other part. They want to just be the NFL, and the NFL is the NFL. They want no other competing. I'm willing to bet that if the NFL had their way, they would somehow figure out a way to brand teams and take away the collegiate aspect of college sports. They'd make it a semi-pro developmental league just so that they could have control over it because they own the monopoly on it. Yeah, dude, Sam, I agree with you. I suggest BB doesn't change a thing and maybe play even more piss now, too. Parrot Perry, retracted message. I'm sorry, dude. Feel free to say whatever. You're good, man. Agreed 100%. Sam, hello, everyone. Hello, Riley O'Brien. Good to see you, my lad. Hopefully you're having a good start to your Tuesday morning. Welcome to the chat, dude. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's finish off today. Let's just go ahead and cool our jets, take a little splash in the Bay of Schadenfreude, right? Okay, now, all off season, we'd been having this discussion about the defensive end. Oh, my God, we need another defensive end opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Oh, my God, we released Zadarius Smith. Oh, my God, Zadarius Smith needs to be re-signed. Zadarius Smith. All off season, all I heard was Zadarius Smith. All training camp, all I heard was Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith, and how great Zadarius Smith is. And admittedly, last year when we traded for Zadarius Smith, I was very high on it. I was like, okay, we have a complementary piece that could potentially help Aiden Hutchinson. Obviously, Hutch got hurt, and then it was like, okay, well, now he needs to step up and be Aiden Hutchinson, and that was never going to fucking happen. Zadarius Smith was already washed when he came to Detroit, and despite what many of you think statistically, he was pretty much a third down pass rush specialist here in the Motor City. And when you look at the actual metrics of it, he put up the same number of sacks as both Josh Pascal and Al-Quadin Muhammad. He wanted more money. Brad Holmes says no. Brad Holmes says, this is the dollars we are willing to spend on you. And Zadarius Smith says, do you know who I am? I am Zadarius Smith. Listen to all the chuckle fucks talking about how great I am. They say I'm great. I must be great. And Brad Holmes says, this is the dollar amount that I'm willing to spend on you. And Zadarius Smith says, get fucked. I'm going to go play in Philadelphia. Okay. Take your happy ass to Philadelphia. And I was told that was a huge mistake. I have been told that Al-Quadin Muhammad was not the answer opposite Aiden Hutchinson, at least temporarily this season. I'm not saying he is here for the next 10 years with double-digit sacks, 8 of those 10 years. I'm saying he is a productive enough player for this season until we figure out what exactly the solution is opposite Aiden Hutchinson long-term. He is a productive enough player, and he has been this year. More productive than Zadarius Smith. In fact, former Lions pass rusher suddenly retires mid-season. This offseason, one of the most controversial moves the Detroit Lions made was cutting veteran defensive end Zadarius Smith and failing to re-sign him despite reported mutual interest. It turns out the Lions may have made the right move. On Monday, Smith announced his retirement via his Instagram after playing 5 games with the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't care what he has to say. Last year, the Lions traded for Smith at the deadline, sending a 2025 5th and 2026 6th-round pick for Smith and a 2026 7th-round pick in return. Smith proceeded to give Detroit 8 quality games following the loss of Aiden Hutchinson to injury. Smith notched 4 sacks and 36 pressures over that span, giving the Lions a fighting chance on defense despite all of the injuries they suffered. Yeah, wow, 4 sacks. 4 game-breaking sacks. Boy, I love a perennial 4-sack guy. Good Lord, look out. The Lions opted to cut Smith in a move that saved them a total of $11 million split over 2 seasons. Instead of giving him a new contract, they opted to re-sign Marcus Davenport. Not wild about that, okay? Just because I'm against Zadarius Smith doesn't mean I condone Marcus Davenport, okay? And Al-Quadin Muhammad. Davenport has 1 sack for the Lions this season, but was placed on IR after 2 games, although he's expected to return shortly. Muhammad has 4.5 sacks through 6 games. Smith had 1.5 sacks and 10 pressures for the Eagles this year. Smith calls it a career after just 10 seasons in the NFL, just 10 seasons. He finished with 343 tackles, 70.5 sacks, 10 forced fumbles, and 3 Pro Bowls. Now, I understand the love affair with Zadarius Smith because of this picture, this face right here, especially here in Detroit. That look goes a long way, okay? It all reminds us of Rasheed Wallace, right? And the bad boys too, right? And that's what we kind of want. But the reality is Zadarius Smith was washed when we traded for him, and he was even more washed after 8 games with the Lions last year. Al-Quadin Muhammad has been a much more productive pass rusher for the Lions this season than Zadarius Smith ever was going to be. Okay, now that's not the long-term solution, and I don't even want to talk about Josh Pascal. Josh Pascal is long gone. I could give a shit less about him. I'm more excited about Ahmed Hassanin than I am Josh Pascal at this point. The reality is we will need to address this defensive end, the long-term solution, via the draft, via free agency, somebody young, right? That's what needs to happen. But Zadarius Smith was never going to be the answer for the Detroit Lions. Let's take a look over at the chart. Over at the chart. Man, I am fucking up with my words today, guys. Zadarius is gritless and fake. Blue dude. I like your takes, bro. Yeah, yeah, he's gritless. He's gritless and fake. Now, as a 37-year-old millennial, I live my life by one very specific set of rules. I mean, a few other rules, but namely, I fucking hate posers. I don't like posers. And Zadarius Smith is a fun and exciting guy, but he's not about the business that we do in the Motor City. And until he ever was going to be, which he never was going to be, I couldn't ever get behind him. He just kind of felt fake. He felt like he was posing. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Z is the best in the world, but he's better than Brad's hurt fetish guys like Pascal, Davenport. That's fair, Mr. Detroit City. Retired because in Philly there's no breakfast in bed with Cash doll. Brent, that's Cash not being there. I also think Philadelphia, something's wrong. Something's wrong in the locker room in Philadelphia. Something's going on there. Something's very wrong with that team. He skipped out on camp. He skipped out on the regular season for the team he's on. Z is under impression that he gets to play when he feels like it. Blue dude, that's what I'm saying. He feels like he's owed something. That I think Zadarius Smith views himself as a potential Hall of Fame caliber player. And although he did have a good stretch of years where he was very productive, you need to humble yourself, old man. He would have been a comp piece next to Hutch. He could have been a comp piece next to Hutch, but I think that the money really wasn't worth it. And again, I say this all the time, and when we get around the draft process, you guys will hear me say this all the time. I really, really think Brad Holmes has some type of psych profile that he really zeroes in on players. And I think, look at with CJ 1 year, look at the trial run with Zadarius Smith. I just don't think Brad Holmes is willing to overpay. I don't even think Brad Holmes is really willing to pay aggressive market value for these these players that don't match the psych profile of what we do here in the Motor City. I think that's why we take the guys that we take in the draft. Sometimes people are standing there scratching their heads. Tyleek Williams moving up for Tater Ratledge, Isaac Tesla. But we do tend to go after a very specific mentality in the player. And I just don't think Zadarius Smith ever meshed with what we tried to do here in the Motor City. To coincide with what Blue Dude said, he's just kind of gritless and fake. Just like CJGJ. Davenport is a glass man, but he doesn't make Z any less of a locker room killer. That's true. That's true. That is absolutely true, Blue Dude. That is absolutely true. Can the Bears win the division? Parrot Perry. I mean, honestly, yes. Statistically, there is a chance the Bears can win the division. The Bears just have a very, very, very uphill fight with the Lions now being incredibly pissed off, as well as the Packers seemingly, being a better team than they were last year. Again, the Vikings could still be a bit of a wild card once McCarthy comes back. Yes, the Bears are on a win streak, but I don't think that yesterday is indicative of the overall performance you should expect out of the Chicago Bears because of what I've seen historically from DeAndre Swift. What you've seen is not what you're going to get for the next 2/3 of the season. Do I think the Bears can win the division? Statistically, yes. Every dog has its day, and every puncher has a chance. Personally, if I were to remove myself, a non-Lions fan, looking at it on the whole, I would still say no. As a Lions fan, I say hell no. You know what I'm saying? Forcing people into the pocket. Yeah, dude, that's that. Okay, Kerry, I see where you're at. He could have been a nice complimentary piece to Hutch. But the money, it comes down to the money, dude. It comes down to the money, and we got too many guys. Brad realizes that the reality of the next couple of years is we got a lot of very valuable guys that we're going to have to allocate high dollars to. We've already seen it with J-Mo, Laporta, Campbell, Gibbs, Hutch, Branch. There's going to be money that needs to be allocated, and if he can save $5 million each year, that can go a long way towards keeping some of the more high-value assets, some of the very much his guys. He selected them. You know what I mean? You're probably not wrong. Zadarius could have been a complimentary piece, if some butts were candies and nuts, if my grandma had been born with wheels, she'd have been a wagon. The reality is he's not here, he's retired, and we don't have to worry about Zadarius Smith ever again. Bears can eat their own. That's true, Kerry. Bears did all they could to lose the game. Washington just gift wrapped it for him at the end. That's what I was reading, Blue Dude. I didn't watch the game, but that's what I was kind of reading. 3 wins in a row for Chicago and only 1 less win than the Lions. I do think the Lions are better, but how are they trash at 3 wins? Lions have 4, so what are the Lions? The Lions are a team that should have 5 wins, and just because the Bears have 3 wins doesn't mean they were against quality opponents. Yeah, they beat the Cowboys, right? The Cowboys are such a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. fucking Hyde team that I don't know if that's any reality. How did the Bears match up against the top team in the NFC North? I guess that would be my measuring stick, Riley. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be a dick or talk shit. I'm trying to work myself through this thought process. I would say that the measuring stick for the NFC North would be the Detroit Lions, since they are back-to-back Division North champions. The Bears did play the Detroit Lions once this year, and I'm pretty sure that they got their shit pushed in. So until they can push back a little bit or even have at all of a puncher's chance against the King, that's going to be the answer. Again, Riley, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I do have a tendency to sound really sarcastic when I talk. I'm not trying to be an asshole to you, dude. I'm just being me, bud. I'm just a unique snowflake. How about this? If the Bears win the division, I'll paint my own nails. Ha! All right, Mr. Detroit City. Hell yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap today up with Tom Grossi. Every NFL fan's reaction to Week 6, because it's Tuesday, boys and girls. And Tuesdays are for Tom.
Hey, Cowboys. Rico Dowdle sends his regard.
Why is it lagging so hard? Internet, stop lagging. Stop lagging, Internet. Let's close out some of these windows, see if that helps a little.
Also, we have a better record than you.
Bro, why is it lagging so hard?
Hey, Cowboys. Rico Dowdle sends his regards. Also, we have a better record than you. How bad is...
Dude, what is going on with my internet today? What the hell?
this defense? It ruined the...
Well, I'm not going to sit here and watch this laggy fucking mess, guys. If you want to watch it, probably watch it on your own. I'm willing to bet that Brandy's already seen it. If I was a betting man, I bet the odds are negative 10,000 that Brandy hasn't seen it. I'm sorry, it's negative 10,000 that Brandy has seen it. My bad. Plus 10,000 that Brandy hasn't seen it. Yes. I knew that. I knew it. I knew it, sister. I knew you'd seen it. So sorry for the letdown there, guys. It's lagged way out. Oh, it's super lagged out. I'm not even going to try and push it. I'm not even going to try and push the internet machine. The internet's going to yell at me, and I'm not going to like it. Internet machine's going to be very angry. So my mom's even seen it. God damn, Mom, you do like Tom Grossi. Jesus. My mom's already seen Tom Grossi's video before I have. Jeez Louise. You guys are on top of it. Was it good? Is it good at least? Did he do a... My mom is a pretty cool lady. She's all right. She's an all right lady. When she's not drunk, when she's not getting drunk. I'm just kidding. Oh, by the way, guys, I just want to let you know, I was totally mistaken. The other day I said Hat and Boobs beats me with a bag full of oranges. I lied. She doesn't beat me with oranges, guys. I lied. Pause this, please. Actually, I'm just going to go and close this window out. They're grapefruit. She uses grapefruit to beat me. Yeah. They're bigger. They hurt more. She can get more leverage on it when she's coming over the top. The worst is when she really starts windmilling up and hits me with them grapefruit, dude. Pillowcase full of bars of soap. Unfortunately, she's found that leaves too much of a mark, and people question us when we go out in public. And after the 12th time of me telling people that I walked into a door or fell down a flight of stairs, she switched from soap in a pillowcase to fruit in a sock. So what she likes to do is get like a real big grapefruit, and she puts it in one of my tube socks and beats the shit out of me with that. That way it doesn't leave too many bruises. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was wrong. It's not oranges, it's grapefruit. Today, guys, we looked at the scores from the Monday night game. We talked about the Monday night games and what to expect or what kind of went on. Just kind of a quick recap. Just kind of chewing the fat with you guys. And then I rant and raved about Brian Branch getting suspended and fined and JuJu Smith-Schuster walking out of it scot-free, even though he's a baby back bitch who instigated it, got slapped, got up off the ground after getting slapped to the ground. You're a grown man who got slapped, open-handed slapped to the ground. Okay, who then retaliated while a smaller guy was being held back by your entire team. You then ended up on the ground again with your helmet off and a bloody nose, but yet, you're the victim. Okay. Keep telling yourself that, JuJu. Keep dancing on TikTok, you fruitcake. Guys, that's going to be it for today. If you haven't already, would you kindly subscribe to the channel? Potassium helps with bruises. Eat bananas. Oh, good to know, dude. Good to know. I'll try and get some bananas in me so that the bruises can subside. Luckily, I wear a hat, and she likes to hit me on top of the head because I'm 6'3", so it's already hard for people to kind of see up there anyway. But I wear a hat the majority of the time, so you can't really see it anyway. But I tell you what, dude, for her being 5'5", she can get some pretty good leverage on that fucker. The other day, she found that if she runs through the house while spinning the tube sock full of grapefruit, and Super Mario jumps off of a kitchen table or a kitchen chair, and then like Falcon punches downward, like downward thrusts with the grapefruit right on my head, it almost knocks me out. It's very impressive. It's very impressive. I was like, damn. After I came to, I was like, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. Yeah. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, hanging out. The poll finished with 17 votes. No JuJu punishment. Need any more evidence? 76% of you say nope. It is clear now. Guys, share this around. Like the video. Comment down below if you're watching post-show. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live Monday through Friday, as well as Lions pregame shows. Appreciate y'all tuning in, telling a friend. That's what we love about you. Stay out of trouble. We'll catch you back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. The Hat and Beard Show here at YouTube. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Until then, bonga, bonga. Frig off.